The Chronicles continue. In celebration of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which hits theaters this week, we dig into a quote the filmmaker shared about working within source material and how to earn a favorable response from its fans. After that, we catch up on the comics with our review of Boba Fett Black, White, and Red, and relish in the return of the baddest bounty hunter in the business. Take it away, Ben.
Sort of like the burgeoning of the first ever force groups, like you know what I mean, some sort of Force Anonymous situation. Like, is that the movie in a way?
Short answer, yeah. I want to talk about this on the pod. I'm doing it.
No, it's recording. Keep going.
All right.
No, just keep going.
Yeah. All right. So we're now I've ruined it because I'm stupid. It was a great cold open, but I think we missed the beginning of what you said, so we're gonna have to do it.
No, we were talking about the James Mangold movie and what it means to explore the origins of the Force and what that story would be.
Yes.
And I feel like it's the first, Q&A groups with Force users, like people talking to each other about the Force mutually.
Yeah, I imagine like someone moved a rock and they're like, "What did I just do?"
Yeah.
Well, and then suddenly, then there's all this fallout, and then it's tribal, and then it's like the first few get killed, like burned at the stake, and then they don't know, and then there's a couple more, and they come to save them, and then they're like, we need to stick together, and they're hunted, and then like some get evil, and some get become.
Is there like a crusades of sorts, where it's like the light side is on some sort of crusade, and then they become so radicalized that they essentially become the Sith. It's like the Jedi create the Sith or something.
I'm imagining something more like pre-religion.
Yeah.
Like really primitive, even though like they'll probably be using starships and there'll be interstellar travel and there'll be droids and all these things are going to exist already. But that's tricky. That's what I think would be really cool, because you overlay this sort of like template of, primitive sort of understanding. And suddenly like we thought we understood everything in the galaxy. And then, and then this happened. It's like suddenly this blanket of mysticism is laid over the galaxy, and people just start freaking out, I think.
Yeah. A couple thoughts I had was like, what if you had kind of each individual tapped into a different aspect of the Force, right? Like some are better at probing minds, some are better at telekinesis and all these other things. And then they, similar to what you were saying, Grant, kind of they meet up and they're like, wait, you can do what? I can do this. And then they start talking about it and kind of figure out how to form around it. And then Ben, this idea of like witches, right? And this misunderstanding around them, like I could totally see that they are ostracized immediately. They're labeled as dangerous, right? And chased away. And I'm like, around part of me is like, maybe that's what creates the dark side, right? Dark side users is just their being ostracized, that they were really there and trying to create like something beautiful, and then fear.
I kind of would like it flipped on that, where it's like the ones that are chased become the light side, and the ones that go dark side are the ones where power brokers are like, I have a job for you.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah,
and like instantly, like I'm going to use you to make money, to gain power, to do these things.
Yeah.
And I'll help you along. And like, that person gets, taken advantage of, and then, maybe bites their master or takes that thing over, and then they're, the Sith are off. Like, that's the thing, is it's going to be like, I think it's going to be fraught with Sith peril the whole time. And then that sets it up for a hero to emerge, to be like, no, we need to save Dodge here. I could imagine it being a very dark time in the galaxy.
Yeah. I mean, I always thought about like, what if it wasn't Jedi, it was Sith first, right? And Jedi came out of Sith, right? Like this instantaneous, like tapping this Force, everyone is instantaneously using to abuse it. And it's just a sect that realizes there's something about them, right? Realizing we can use this for good, not for evil. Like, I think it's interesting, the idea of falling to the light or ascending to the light instead of falling to the dark.
I do like that. I do like the dark predating the light. That's fascinating. But at the same time, when you brought up witches, I'm also thinking to myself, we're being a little binary here. It's not just Jedi and Sith, right? The Force predates these organizations, essentially. We've had these fascinating cultures from, all types of different planets across the galaxy that have their own beliefs in the Force and what it means to use the Force and stuff like that. I feel like that's That's something you could juxtapose next to the Jedi and Sith the entire time. Essentially, it's ancient Force ideologies next to whatever the Jedi with two eyes is and whatever the Sith are. You know what I mean? Like those early versions of what they are. But I do like the idea of all the Force users who are in these round tables that we're talking about, these Q&A Force users. I feel like if they're all just kind of nefarious people and the Jedi emerges from that, that's actually like a beautiful idea. I would love that movie personally.
Grant, could you say more about when you say Q&A roundtable? Like roundtable made me think like Knights of the Round Table, which got me really excited.
Yeah,
but
I think that's what it will be, essentially. It will be something of that. Like the origins of the Jedi Council is sort of what I want to see as a film.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe it's 6 members before 12. Maybe it's 3 members before 6. You know what I mean? Like I think if they go back and that far and they explore that first movie of the Jedi, I think it should be like 3.
Yeah.
You know, huge names, huge actors, like massive castings for these fascinating characters that are all like Force sensitive, essentially. And like what they're doing is sort of bouncing ideas off each other and talking about.
3 is a great number, not to get too mystical, but like it is a very mystical number, right? The triumvirate, the holy Trinity. Like it's just it works. It makes sense from a lore standpoint.
Yeah, and I mean there could be a really long runway for movies and content with this, like depending, because I think you could slow play it and still make really entertaining films. Depending on how arty you wanted to get at the beginning. This is my sort of like David Lowery, like I want like,
perfect candidate for that movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. All those
dream casting.
Everything that comes out of that could be really special, but it's just like that first pen to paper is like, whew. And Mangold can do it. And Mangold should do it. But it's just if you do it right, it sets it up for all this amazing storytelling. Yes. But I mean, I think it's pretty easy fodder for a great movie, no matter how far down the line you go. Like he had said, like you're not even probably going to hear the word Jedi in this movie,
or it's the last thing you hear.
I love that's ballsy if you can do that. I don't want to like throw cold water on this. But there's no way Mangold's making this movie. This is never happening. I'm sorry. Like within a year, he jumped on giant IP that. Like hard tanked at the theater, like real tanked the Indiana Jones movie, which I like, but
I actually quite like that one.
So I love that. I really, really like it, but it tanked bad. And then he, in the same year, I think he was nominated, or maybe the next year he was nominated for Oscars for A Complete Unknown. Like he's like, I know where my direction lies. Like,
I just watched that movie. Actually, it was really good.
So good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and I think the last thing we heard from Kathy on her way out the door was that like he had produced a script or two, and he's and we're thinking about it. Or she was very, I think he was a little bit not back to the drawing board, but I think he, it still needs some work.
Sure.
And Tony Gilroy can only do so many things.
I also think maybe like you're right about the commercial appeal in terms of like making this and thinking it opens up to a lot of story is interesting, but at the same time, I feel like it's also pretty risky. It's also if they do it, like I would almost do one and done here and go 5,000 years or 10,000 years in the future and just like never talk about that story is like a myth essentially.
Yeah, I think Logan can do it because I mean me where I am right now in my life, like I want subtle cinema. I want I don't want to be told things. That's why I think a Complete Unknown was so great. Like there was none exposition in that movie. It was just like little vignettes surrounding this person. It wasn't anything mundane. It was just like this thing happened, this thing happened, this thing happened, and like from that you sort of get the essence of what this person is. And
he even does a new Johnny Cash with Boyd Holbrook, which is hilarious.
And fantastic. Yeah, and everyone knows who Johnny Cash is. So it's like he didn't need to explain Johnny Cash. You didn't even see him for like the first 2/3 of the movie, right? He was just like a pen pal, and you heard his voice, and like it was just so subtle and so beautifully done. Like I think something done with that amount of care will be a fantastic movie for me. I don't know if Lucasfilm's going to let them get away with it. I don't know. I don't want to get cynical too early here, but yeah, I mean, and Logan was a masterpiece, and like. He can definitely do it. And then, I think if it's done in that way, then, it can have all these options.
310 to Yuma, it's a great Western.
That movie's so good. I was working at the video store when that movie came out, and I remember just putting on at the video store just kind of I would watch everything, and it's like within like 10 minutes, I was just like, people walking in, I'd be like, shut up, like watching a movie over here. Like,
Yeah.
like it really blew me away. I was not expecting it at all. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be great. But David Lowery too, like you said. I mean, there's a couple directors that they already work with that are perfectly capture this sort of idea.
I like the David Lowery take because he makes movies inexpensively for the most part. They're very inexpensive movies compared, and I'm like, this movie should be small budget, relatively small budget. Like, you know, make it for 50 million. Like, honestly, just do it, and like it will work. They gotta start taking risks. Like all these giant IPs have to start taking risks. They're just gonna start dying on the vine. People are not in for your basic movies anymore. I don't think. I think people are just looking for something new. I don't know.
So this circles us back to the conversation, right? Like this is the conversation that we are going to have until Starfighter comes out, and we're just going to keep adding to it from what we know and what we glean. And I think this is like us being like, you know, wanting to be in that room with Dave Filoni, being like, how do we make the next great Star Wars? What is, you know, what's going to make Star Wars better as we go forward? And it's always on top of mind for me. We're always talking about it when we're together. I just saw, obviously the Odyssey's coming out. Christopher Nolan is a genius. The early returns, like I watched it. It was an interview with Stewart on the Daily Show, and he was gushing, man. He was just like because he saw a pre-screening of it, and he lost his mind. And I'm like, that makes sense. Like, yeah, Nolan is a genius, and you know he's going to be one of the great art creators of our age. I think when it's all said and done,
he is one of the greatest filmmakers of our time.
Even beyond that, he's like he's a great artist. Period. Like,
he's modern Spielberg. I was talking to Carly about this, where I'm just and they're not similar in how they're shooting, but in terms of like, is there a director who I have zero worries about when I walk into a movie? Does that make sense? Like I like Spielberg in the 80s. Like I know I'm gonna like it. Like even Tenet, which is like probably my least favorite Nolan movie, I will happily sit down and watch
that movie.
What's that?
I think
that's my point. It's my least favorite, and I love it. You know what I mean? Like it is so engaging.
Yeah. Nolan's batting average is dang near perfect. Like
1,000.
And it's like he keeps doing different things, and so I was like, oh, you know what? I've never really seen many interviews with him, and he's so eloquent, so humble,
never written an email.
Yeah, just no airs, which is like he should have, and he's just like very careful about how he presents himself, and and it just like comes like he's a human being and it comes through in his films. But he had brought one thing, why can't I think of Stewart's first name? John Stewart. John Stewart. And he brought up like Batman, and he's like, how did you just like walk into this thing? And it's like, that's a classic like trial case, right? This is what we want to have happen with Star Wars, is a guy walks in, beloved character, 70 years of history, and takes his own opinion about it. And so the quote from him that he had was like, if you respect the source material and make the best interpretation you can make, the fans will respond. Like, period. Just like, and he makes statements like this. It's like, just break it down to its atomic level, like very, very simple. And he's just like, we looked at it. We looked at like who the character was and what the character does. And then we did our best interpretation. And Nolan's interpretation is, I believe, again, this is a Jon Stewart term, but he called it grounded realism. And I think it's sort of like, no matter how fantastical the story, it is like, it's very real, and partially because he does all practical effects and that sort of stuff. But it's also just like I think he made Batman feel real. It's like,
there's a verisimilitude with his technology and sort of the world building and all of the corporate dealings. I think he nailed Batman. And it's like, do you like a movie that's a little bit James Bond, a little bit Heat? Like that's a Nolan movie. Like, and he's able to perfect that sort of, and he also has the whole ticking clock thing down to, a T. And I feel like the Odyssey is perfect for a ticking clock as well. It's a guy trying to get home. It's a ticking clock. Like everything in all these movies sort of have this ratcheting up that I think like it's just always a good time. And I'm surprised he hasn't done like a James Bond film yet.
No, I mean, it'd be perfect. It's all about time, right? Every movie's about his movies are about time in some way, but in a beautiful way. And I feel like Batman Begins is, again, by the way, they made it for $150 million. Can you imagine them making a superhero movie for $150 million? That's crazy.
And they were like jumping off like, skyscrapers in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Like it was still, he was under budget, and on the Odyssey, he was like, he's an engineer really. And, he mentions like Nolan like diagrams out all his movies, like, so that to, track all the juxtaposition, that time juxtaposition is like a hallmark of his craft. And he flexes on it. Started with Memento, Tenet is just a total flex because the movie goes forward, then it goes backwards.
I mean, it's just a fun action film. Like it's just a popcorn movie, and I think people weren't expecting that from him. Like,
I like the script is pretty swaggy, and I like all the different plot dynamics. They're quite complex and fun.
Yeah. To do like a music metaphor, it's like he took like super proggy prog rock King Crimson and made it pop. And
well, I'm one of those weirdos who Interstellar is like my favorite Nolan movie, and it's been my favorite. Since
I love that movie. It's hard for me to separate. It was one of my early dates with Carly was that movie, and then we we were at River Bar at Assembly Row, and and like spent like 3 hours after just dissecting the movie, just talking about it. So it's hard for me to take it apart from that, but I love it. I will say my one critique about Batman Begins is exactly what you were talking about is how realistic and grounded that movie is, because every time when I watch that movie and Batman shows up for the first time, I laugh, and I laughed in the theater when it happened because like it's a guy in a bat suit. Like it's so dumb and weird, and because it's so real, and it's like it just feels like you're in the real world, and then suddenly like here's Batman. I'm like,
I think Batman Begins is the best of the three movies as a standalone. If you're going to show, I mean, Dark Knight's obviously like here's the greatest villain / action you've ever seen. Yeah, it's incredible. But Batman Begins has the whole sentimental motif of the father throughout the movie, which is the stethoscope and all that stuff. And I was like, and that's gone after that movie. That's just eviscerated after that movie. And I almost felt like I would almost love to see three movies that keep it going somehow, like something like that is continuing. But I thought Batman Begins was perfect. It was almost like a perfect movie in terms of how it's structured. That as a fourth layer, essentially, like this. Wayne
it's tough when you only have 3 needle drops on like a character that has 70 years.
Well, Alfred becomes famous. Alfred is essentially
he replaces
father, surrogate father. But it's again, like his talking about caring for the source material. He loves A New Hope. Like he adores Star Wars as a brand, and every time he talks about it, he's always delivering some insight I've never heard about, and he has so much knowledge on the films. And he loves that initial like trench run scene, I know, and things like that. Like I know there's like a lot of stuff. I was like, I almost feel like he's almost the perfect director to eventually do that ticking clock, Death Star, super weapon storyline again. If we ever get there again, the way we did it in Force Awakens was very quick. The way it happened in Rise of Skywalker was very quick. I think Nolan actually would have the pacing down exactly right, where in that third act, ticking clock, destroy the super weapon situation. I think he would almost be like unparalleled in terms of like executing that.
I mean,
and all those films feel like they're meant to be A New Hope again. It's like almost like that's what I feel like a lot of his films are almost built that way.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Yeah, go for it.
That's what we're here.
I'm trying to think of the end of The Force Awakens, like because I know so I know they're on Ilum, not Ilum, and they're blowing it up.
It's a lot of Han and Poe, and I like Han and Poe. Han and Finn. I mean, it's a lot of Han and Finn at the end, and I love Han and Finn, so I don't mind.
Is it what is it targeting? Is it targeting anything?
Hosnian. Oh no,
Hosnian Brown's toast.
The Resistance base or something
at Dakar or whatever it's called.
Must be Dakar because then they attack immediately, right?
I don't know for certain. Like that's a problem. Like I just realized, like, why do they have to blow it up?
Is it because we didn't realize till now, and it's been 10 years? So
it's true.
It doesn't matter.
It's true.
Like, I think it's just like the rebels were on the offensive. And,
like here we go, let's blow it up. But it's interesting
because it had just blown up Hosnian Prime, and so
it's a revenge mission.
It was like a sneak attack, like under Veil of Night sort of mission to destroy it. But I think there was that sort of like SS speech that Hux gives, just coincidental. Oh no, that was before Hosnian Prime. Anyway. So it's an infiltration, and that's what's going on there. It's not attacking anything at the moment, but
I didn't think so.
But so it was that spirit of like, good filmmakers that understand the text, making the best movie they can make. Like that, I think that is sort of my personal like framework now of how we're going to look at things. And, we talked offline about the Soderbergh script for, for The Hunt for Ben Solo and, whatever. So the bringing Ben Solo Back to Life was a step too far, and so that's not happening allegedly. But that fits the criteria, right? Like Soderbergh in his free time with Adam Driver, made this script, brought it there. Kathleen and Filoni liked it, and then they got negged by the
brass
studio, the brass, and but like I think like that, that's going to be my white whale.
And based on this conversation, Soderbergh went about it the right way, and based on what Nolan thinks, it's like caring about the source material first, and then like dedicating so much time and so much effort to the source material. It's like that's what fans want to see. Like we will respond to someone who is like, I've really thought about this specific element of Star Wars, and I'm going to deliver it to you in a way that has like an ensemble that you'll love and all this sort of stuff. But it is a fresh like little element that I've been fascinated with for a long time.
Yeah, no, they greenlit Mandalorian and Grogu instead of that. Which I mean, you don't have to do one or the other. I don't know why you didn't do both. Like, it's just,
they should be. I mean, I love
have your popcorn film, have your deep thought film. Like, do it both.
I mean, I'm not expecting any big announcements anytime soon. I think they need to sort of get this transition working. They have one movie out. They're working on some other stuff. Soon we should hear. But I think Filoni is like not going to. He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's going to come out swinging. But his first move is going to be a big indicator of what the future holds. But like all of a sudden, greenlighting Soderbergh, like the Hunt for Ben Solo would be. I mean, fans would be stoked. But. We'll see, but it's like, who else, there's like Sean Levy. I feel like I don't know. I'm sort of trying to remember that interview from a long time ago, but he seemed like he's a hardcore Star Wars fan. And I think he appreciates the text. He knows how to make a good movie. And his interpretation, I'm excited for. This is a little more edgy than a lot of, he does 4-quadrant like family films, or his most popular films have been those. And, I want to see what he can do here in a galaxy far, far away. But I mean, the early photos are just like sexy as hell. They remind me of like Dune, Villeneuve's Dune. So
it looks amazing. They're gonna, in terms of the Filoni announcement, it's gonna be. They're waiting until Celebration, which is April, which is a month before Starfighter comes out. So that's gonna be.
That'll probably be the kickoff, right?
Because by then they'll know what Starfighter is going to do, right? Like they'll have the projections in, they'll know how to play it. But also I just noticed that it starts on April 1st. So good luck to the internet about like what we're going to actually believe is an announcement or not an announcement on April 1st, 2020.
Oh, right. It's going to all be a dream.
It's going to be a mess. Yeah.
Right. That's what Filoni's working on right now. He's finishing up Ahsoka season 2. So that and then so we'll get Ahsoka season 2, and then like really next 2027 is going to be the beginning of the new era. So until then, we're going to keep having conversations just like this one.
Yeah. Now, Starfighter's generated some of like the best fan theories and sort of rumors that I've heard in a long time, and I've been excited to sort of like talk to you guys about when we see an actual trailer at like D23. I can't wait to talk. Like I want to wait until then to talk about it, because it could be really exciting, or it could be we don't know.
It'll definitely be in front of Doomsday. That'll be the big trailer in front of Doomsday. Will be that, and then I don't think there won't be anything Spider-Man, because Spider-Man will be Doomsday, right? And then Doomsday will be Starfighter.
Yeah.
Brand New Day will be Doomsday, and then Doomsday will show Starfighter.
Yeah, that's exciting. What the hell? So obviously, like we can't get Nolan to do a Star Wars. I just feel like that's just like that is sitting around smoking weed in your dorm room, sort of like prayer. I think but if it was to happen, like I think there is I think like the Odyssey is like what the Lord of the Rings was to Peter Jackson, even though Peter Jackson did it. Well, I mean, mid-career, but as soon as he got the technology, he's like, I know exactly what I want to make, and it's Lord of the Rings. And talk about taking an understanding of the text to the screen and being a great filmmaker and doing your best interpretation. Like Peter Jackson knocked it out of the park. And so the Odyssey is that, like, that's Christopher Nolan's white whale. He loves it. He understands the poem. He's drawing from the real text. This is sort of his magnum opus, I think. Which is hard to think, say so about that actor.
Every time he makes it, I thought Oppenheimer was his magnus opus, and he's like, "No, I got another one for you, and here's another," and like it's wild. But I think you're right. We're never gonna get Nolan, but I think it's still a useful conversation to have, because the question is like, why do we want him, right? And why we want him starts answering what we think we need
from other directors, and it's
It would be fun to think about Star Wars in a completely new way in terms of like everything resetting. I think that would be interesting. Well, it's something that I'm watching Marvel very close. I'm watching closely the MCU these days because I feel like what they're doing is essentially like not resetting, but just sort of branch realities and pulling things back and forth and trying to like juggle all these different characters and franchises at once. And I don't know how that's going to work. I can't wait to see how it turns out. And I think Star Wars has a chance to sort of reset if it wants to. Yeah. There's a lot
like tonally.
I mean, it's the
Russo
not so
brothers. Totally, but like a new timeline where like Nolan can do the Knights of the Republic or some other timeline, essentially. You know what I mean? Like
or
some
another
other
place in the timeline.
Completely. Yeah, sure. It's the time. I think it is the
not a parallel timeline, right? Like just
No,
we'll call it the Kelvin universe. Sorry.
Yeah.
For the best thing Star Wars has done is sort of kept one continuum. So the one continuum shall remain. But
yes,
I think
absolutely.
A new era altogether, very far away. Not like because like the promise of Starfighter being a new era. They're like it's a dawn of a new era. I'm like it is, but like at the same time, it's like all the legacy characters are coming. Like get ready. Like here they come.
Yeah.
It's I almost wish that we could go to a completely new time.
Same.
Yeah.
And Nolan would be perfect candidate
1,000
or
years in the
villain
past.
Someone who
5,000 years, 10,000 years, 15,000 years. Yeah, you know. Yeah, sure. I mean, Nolan would be great for that. But I'm just saying, like, once the
new super weapon, like the Starforge or something, some new super weapon we've never seen before, a brand new super weapon. I think the secret sauce of Star Wars. We've talked about this in our Pillars episodes, which is like there's a technological science fiction, device, actual MacGuffin, place, thing, location that is just part of the story that we just take for granted. We actually don't think about it at all. We think about the ensemble and the characters, which is the credit to the characters, right? The characters are so vibrant that you're sort of you're like all about them.
It's just tough because it's Star Wars, like the scale of the threat is like generally doesn't need to be galactic, but if you really want it to be a threat like, the Death Star was, like it was a galactic threat. And I mean, you could make a movie that was smaller in scope and then you'd have more leeway, but it's just hard. But
I've always said the worst thing that happened to Star Wars was calling it Star Wars. It kind of limits sometimes the stories you can tell or people feel like it limits.
Yeah.
Oh, I think super weapons you can repeat them. Yeah. I think it's a repeatable piece of Star Wars, narrative.
It also makes sense in all of human history. Conquering empires try to create super weapons, right? Like literally as technology advances, we just make worse and worse and worse super weapons.
You could do the advent of droids and have like a giant, capital ship sized droid. You know what I mean? You could have the Starforge from Knights of the Republic that prints a fleet. It's like just print a fleet, there's all different types of super weapons. You could, something that's, I like the early laser, experimentation with like kyber crystals and lasers like that. That stuff is fascinating. What were those early inventions? You know what I mean? Like, and where did the idea for the Death Star originate?
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad we talked about that because I did want to talk. And I'm sure we'll talk more. I mean, like we always are like, oh, who would be great directors? But yeah, Nolan would be number one with a bullet if if anything was possible. But Peter Jackson, I was just thinking about it. Have we brought his name up? I was like thinking about it. I'm like, oh, this is that analogy to like Lord of the Rings, to the Odyssey. And I'm like, oh man, Peter Jackson would make a fucking like crazy Star Wars.
Yeah. What was his last movie with the big cars, the big vehicular bases?
What was that called? Mortal Engines?
Is that hit? Did he do that?
No, he didn't do Mortal Engines, did he?
Immortal Engines, was it? Is that what it's called?
No, I don't think. That's the name of a movie about cities that roll.
Cities that roll, yeah.
But I don't think that was him.
I don't think
could have been the Wachowski sisters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Peter Hobbit's I said Peter Hobbit. There's a slip. I don't think Peter Jackson's done anything since the Hobbit movies. Is that right?
And now he's making another Lord of the Rings right now. So,
is he or Is everyone
No,
else?
that's Andy Serkis is directing that
Oh,
one.
Serkis is doing it.
Yeah,
He's
Oh
just been-
boy. Yeah.
I'm sure he's producing. I'm sure he's
And he had
producing.
some interesting things to say about that this week, but never mind.
Well, isn't Weta Digital like his company? And then
Yeah.
aren't they? Didn't they do Isn't Avatar heavily? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, Weta Digital is like the ILM of New Zealand, and it was their advances in the technology, CGI technology, that allowed them to do Lord of the Rings.
I swear he and Fran Walsh wrote on the like anime War of the Rohirrim film or something like that. Like I credited like story by or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Can I tell you, this is crazy. So Peter Jackson directed one film before Lord of the Rings.
No, he did a
was
few.
it?
They
No,
were
it was
just
the horror
tiny.
film.
It was Dead Alive.
Oh yeah.
He also did Meet the Feebles.
Lots.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm on the wrong thing. Thank you. I was going
Yeah.
insane because I'm like, I've seen all those movies, and I'm like, that's not right. That's not right.
that's not right.
You
Yeah.
cut that. Go ahead and edit. We don't
The
edit.
best horror
Edit that.
movies ever. The best
Yes.
horror movie. Some of the best horror gore.
Oh, I loved Brain Dead or Dead Alive as it's known in the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Meet the Feebles, which was
Yes.
like a dirty Muppets.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the time. I don't know if Peter Jackson is interested in doing like he did so well establishing an IP all on his own. I don't know if he wants to, jump into a sandbox. So much as,
I mean, I think
establish something else.
Yeah, no, to spend it's like 10 years of your life, and he's done plenty. I mean, he seems like a well-rounded human being that wants to do other things. Nolan, on the other hand, like it's a non-zero chance that Nolan does a Star Wars. It's non-zero. I'm just saying, like after he's done the Odyssey, why not do a Star Wars? Like if he, if he wants to, he can. And if he likes Star Wars, and I know he'll respect the material, and like he could just swoop in and do something. But the thing is like once Lucasfilm's never going to want to let him go if he makes one.
Well, and the other issue is I just think a lot of these directors are at the blank check stage of their lives of just be like, I'll make you a Star Wars. You just got to keep your nose out of it. Like I'm taking 0 notes. I will make this movie. And Lucasfilm is not willing to do that when I feel like they should just at this point.
Like they should, right? I mean, this brings me back to, Acolyte and Leslie Headland. And it's just sort of like, you can't tell this person that she's going to make 3 seasons and a feature and then cut her off after 1 season. It's like, I just don't think it's fair to the storyteller. She obviously respects them, she respects the text and she has a vision. And I don't know, that's one of the things where it's like, well, and you could say maybe you didn't like The Acolyte, or, you don't think it was as effective as a show as other ones, even though a lot of fans really like it, But so that could be, but I like that. So it can't, Star Wars, I feel like should be a space for talented young people, young directors to play.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
You know what I think could save the theatrical experience?
Tell me.
Is a Star Wars trilogy wherein you get, a well-known and accomplished director do the first film, and a well-known and accomplished director do the second film. But then the third film is Christopher Nolan. It would break the internet. Everyone would go to. It would be like the biggest third film in the side, like the Richard Marquand, like just the giant, crazy. But like, I don't know, something like he could do the third movie in a trilogy, or he could do his own thing in another timeline somewhere else. And it's like a one-off of a ticking clock that is like outstanding, and you remember it forever. Almost like if James Mangold doesn't do that early Force thing, Nolan would be perfect.
Yeah,
I kind of like the 28 years later model, where you just have like the big name do the first one, and then like hand it off to like a young up and coming director, like Nia DaCosta did the Bone Temple.
Yeah, or like Rian Johnson did Last Jedi.
I guess that is true. That was the same model.
I feel like he's comparable, or I like his films
more about
quite a
that,
bit more than Abrams' films. But okay,
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I just
no. It's a good point.
But I feel like
what really bummed me out about that is like, oh, that's right, because what's his name's coming back for the third 28 years later, and if it follows the Star Wars, if it follows the sequel trilogy, I'm like, oh, that's going to be an interesting film. That may not work.
I think 28 years later is following a much more promising trajectory.
Yeah.
And it feels like they actually had their ducks in a row. I mean, hey, if it was Abrams, Johnson, Abrams from the beginning, maybe they, those films work better together.
Yeah.
it was like a Star Wars for hire during the trilogy. That was weird. I was like, I didn't really get that. I was like, wait, this isn't all thought out, and no one's the grand like architect of all this. Like Filoni didn't architect this.
You didn't greenlight a script for the third movie before you started the first. Like,
they could do it differently though, in terms of like a future precedent where it's like, hey, here's an incredible film, and then to land the entire thing, and maybe he was involved with the entire writing process of all of it, right? Like, it's the master himself, and now you're all coming to because like usually the third film, no matter what it is, it could be a Rise of Skywalker, it could be a Glub Shido of a film, and it's like you go to it, you're still like, there's so much anticipation. It's the final film. It's the I don't know, something to that I think is very powerful, and I think he would have to obviously be involved in architecting the entire thing, right? Like that's another thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different medium, but the Project Luminous and the High Republic, I thought was pulled off perfectly, and they really came together. They did a full, through storyboard. They knew where it was going. They were like that sort of collaboration, I think is, probably the direction they're going to go in the future. We're talking about some of the best filmmakers in the world, and they're going to learn from what, past experiences. So
what do we think Nolan does after the Odyssey? This is a fun topic.
Yeah. Knights of the Old Republic.
Dude, honestly, you're not wrong. That's almost what I've been hinting at this entire time. It's like either it's some crescendo and some sort of new trilogy, and he's like the master architect, or he's got his own place in the timeline, and it's like 5,000. It's the Knights of the Republic. It's 5,000 years before the prequels, and it's his own thing. New super weapon, new characters. You're introduced to a lightsaber all over again. It's special.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. His movies are very focused, and I don't want to say the word small, but very like character focused in an interesting way. It's, what I mean? Like usually revolves around a single person. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's
I think it works.
It's either like one or two or three characters.
Yeah, and I think it works. Like it always works. Yeah, I think.
Well, the Odyssey is going to be a bunch of characters, so I can't wait to see this structure.
And I think Dunkirk is probably another one that's pretty close to having, an ensemble cast, even though those ensembles.
Yeah.
That movie, by the way, I love that movie. I love the magic trick of the time, the different time rates of it and how it all sews together at the end. I remember watching that magic trick happen in the theater when I first saw it. I'm like, this is wild.
And then you also feel Batman unravels, right? Like it starts to be a very personal journey, and then it kind of turns to a two-hander with the Joker and Batman. Then it's just like Bane and a bunch of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the cast is sort of like how he spread out the script in terms of speaking lines, who's seen, certain scenes. It's I think there's Star Wars in there. I think no matter what, he could do the ensemble. He could do a bunch of characters. And parallel action's so hard, and he does parallel action incredibly well. And I feel like Star Wars demands a lot of parallel action.
Star Wars lives or dies by that, and it's true.
Do it,
and I just always think about like Lucas is the master of it, and then I know we love our prequel trilogy or our prequel trilogies, but boy, the parallel action in Force Awakens for me, and the
Phantom Menace
does not work for me.
No, it doesn't. The third act, you just want to stay with Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Maul, and they literally throw a fire hose of just like N1 starfighters and Jar Jar fighting. It's just so much stuff. Princess, Padme fighting in the halls. Like it's a lot, all stacked on top of each other, and it's too much. You almost want a Nolan thing where it's a little more elegant. There's like three things happening.
Yeah, and intersecting more.
No.
Yeah, no.
Perfect movie. No.
It's a great film. It's a great film.
It is. It's not like, again, it's.
I love a circle wipe. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll just call that a 40-minute cold open. All right. Welcome to Cantina Chronicles. This is a weekly Cantina crawl across the Star Wars galaxy where we have delightful discourse about all things Star Wars, including news, notes, and theory, synthesizing all media. We contextualize your canon. We're your landing pad for all things Star Wars. Grab a seat at the bar with us and let's chop it up. Adam, where are we today?
We're at Gesh's Tap Caf here on beautiful Jedha. They have rebuilt mostly, but it's still a little ramshackle, but it's great. And I'm here mostly because I just want to see if we can run into two tubes. That's my goal.
Yeah. I'll keep my eyes out, but I'm getting a lot of sand in my drink.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Benthic, good friend of the pod.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy, man. Whew, he can talk. Once he gets going, he just never shuts up.
You mean old Ben?
Yeah.
sorry, my bad.
Right on. So this week we actually had some original content to cover. Adam, how old is this series? It's a year old?
Yeah, probably. That's a good question.
Oh boy.
I was looking at like what at the very end they said what comics were coming out in Star Wars comics. I'm like, oh, that like Legacy of Vader's been done for a while. So I'm like,
yeah,
I'll have to look it up. Yeah,
I think it's only a couple months old. I don't think it's 3 months.
I think it might have wrapped up a couple months ago.
Okay, because I know the first one was dated 2025. We're talking about Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red. These Black, White, and Red series are a montage of different writers and
the
Black,
art.
White, and Red style,
yeah.
and they're vignette
beautiful.
and amazing.
Yes.
And,
It started in September of 2025.
okay.
Yeah, under a year.
So September, October, November. Yeah. Yeah, but we're going to cover it here because Black, White, and Red are sick and they're fun. And so, yeah, we read this full series and we're going to talk about it. You want to start from the first one, The Impossible Job?
Yeah. Let's just, and if for those of you who haven't read or seen any of these kind of black, white, and now they're black, white, and red for the most part, is they're usually 4 issues, usually standalone stories told by different creators in the Star Wars universe. They actually do it. Marvel's been doing it for all of their characters. They do it in, They've done it with Predator. They've done it with Alien. They've done it with all of their major characters like Wolverine and stuff like that. And they're usually, actually it ties into what we were talking about. They take risks in these comics because it's a short story and they do things that are different than what you would get in an ongoing series. And so I don't know, I find them fun. I find them interesting. It's just this little, you have to tell a story in 33 pages and have it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a brilliant. I love number 1. That's the Benjamin Percy one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was incredible in terms of the storytelling. And I also like to start in media res with Boba Fett just in the middle of a fight. That was a really cool sort of opening.
Right, and they're in a prison that looks a lot like Narkina 5, but it's Sterna 4 is the name of it. So it's on a different planet, presumably, but like similar design. With the electric floors and all that. And he's stealing a prisoner out of there on behalf of a, crime boss. And he makes it. And obviously he's going to have to deal with the Imperials. And we get some ne'er-do-well rebels. And they're all after the same
We get
prize.
Tusk. We get a rhino species. Humanoid. Near human. Very cool character.
Yep.
And
just
like
Boba being a badass in this. I mean, that's the black, white, and red thing, right? Like the tone is like you're gonna get Maul being a savage. You're gonna get Boba Fett being a complete gunslinger. Like you're gonna get the things you want out of these pulpy characters, essentially. And I feel like this one was cool in terms. It was very Jabba the Hutt too. Like some of the Jabba the Hutt comics from the past have been like playing 2 factions against each other. That is cool. And cool to see Boba Fett's cunning.
Yeah.
That's always a cool thing to say.
Yeah, which I think comes across in all 4 issues. And I mean, we can avoid it if we want to, but eventually I think we're going to have to compare this against
the show.
The show, the Book of Boba Fett, but we're not going to do that yet. We can get there.
Yeah, which we talked
where it's like
about.
L after L and like all these like political, charlatans are like taking advantage of him. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
You're Boba Fett.
Right.
Behind the 8 ball for most of that show, not really kind of figuring out what's going on. And again, I don't necessarily hate that because he should never have been a daimyo. That's not his strong suit.
Right. Yeah, and if he is, like, he should solve all his problems with a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, I mean, I said should. He could, it feels more likely that he would, solve his problems with his EE3 or his flamethrower or his knee rockets.
Knee rockets. I always forget he has knee rockets until they come in. I'm like, that's right, knee rockets.
He's got toe spikes. I think he kicks a guy in one of these issues. Or I'm like, toe spikes are there.
He's got his spurs too, right?
Yeah.
But don't you wish you could kind of go to Mos Espa and like show this to Boba Fett and just kind of flip through all these and be like, remember?
Yeah,
you do this.
Remember this?
You're good at this.
Cool.
Go do this.
Yeah. Look at all this cool stuff you did.
Yeah.
And all this. So this kind of places it, I guess, like 4 years BBY. Just guessing by the prison planet, and all this stuff sort of happens. And it's obviously all going to be pre Empire Strikes Back. But yeah, this is in his. Well, actually, and as we get on, we get a little flashback, which is fun. But
Yeah.
This is to get the data drive, right? Like he has to go find this.
Yeah.
And he pitches
sort of
all
like
the elements against each other and whistles away, probably a few credits late, but lives and does things. He does things on his terms. That's like a big thing with Boba's.
And I think very happy. Like he had no other option but to take the deal from the Imperials, which is basically like you go do this and you don't go to prison. And finds a way to come out ahead, right? In terms of like, well, he does get the credits transferred, right, by the rebels. I think that's the agreement.
Oh, he plays both sides. He gets the rebels, the credits from the rebels, and then they're not even rebels. They're like partisan.
They're partisan.
Kind of fighters.
They call themselves rebels, but they're I think at that point, plenty of people were calling themselves rebels that weren't part of the actual rebel alliance.
Yeah, which was cool. That's which was fun. Rooker was the leader of the rebels.
Yeah, that was actually a fun character because he was just dastardly. Like he was just like, I want to kill Boba Fett after after we get the data, like this guy's dead. And I was like, okay. And then the Empire says the exact, they like execute him. And then Boba Fett plays both of them. I was like, that's just awesome.
And I just love the idea of that giving, because you can see it in other genre, but something about hyperspace travel and the idea of just two factions hyperspacing into the exact same spot, and then suddenly they're just there.
Oh yeah,
I just love that idea. Like, oh no,
it's on.
Yeah.
So that was a fun one. The second one was called Piper's Pay, and this centers around Samu the Scurrier.
I thought you would love this one because it's got all the Zeltrons, and they actually get their pink skin is actually in because black, white, and red, like because they're red species. You actually see they actually are the only ones
their skin color. Really cool. Yeah. I think that's why they chose Zeltron, so they could actually cheat and get some color in there. Actually, I don't have the author of this one.
It is
Saladin Ahmed, who does the Miss Marvel stuff. That's incredible. And
cool.
There's a few other comics I absolutely love.
We all know which one was my favorite, but we'll get there. Get there. But I really, really like this one because you use Boba Fett as a Jason Voorhees type character, right? Like he's just stalking him and just shows up. My favorite scene is when he just looks up and there's Boba Fett's ship a couple times, or there's Boba Fett like hovering above the market with his jetpack. Like it's Jason, right? He's just stalking him. He's always there. Yeah. And so I think sometimes using him as not the main character in a way is useful, right? You still get a lot of Boba Fett in this, but just it's from the Scurrier's perspective, and this idea of, I don't know, you can actually get character growth because you can't, or I don't think you should get character growth with Boba Fett, to be honest. Character growth.
He is who he is. Yeah. Unless you have a 6-episode TV arc.
Those guys with Korsh were scary too. Like it was actually like a frightening comic. Like the guys who were just like wanted to kill Samu or whatever.
The Hooks.
The Hooks wanted to kill the kid, right? Like just
Korsha, the Hook. Yeah, that's right.
Led by Aloysius. My only notes I take for comics are names or proper nouns because I love them.
Okay, good.
That's good.
Because I don't remember the names for this one.
Yeah, pour a little bit out for CZ the droid. He was cool.
Yes, liked CZ a lot. And I know it's you even slip in a little bit of a redemption arc as we have in Star Wars here, right? Like this idea he chooses. Like I like that last line is he's like, I'm going to go to prison, and I'm thinking about all these escape routes, and I can get out of there. He's like, but actually, I think I'm just going to serve my time and just start over.
Exactly, like you were saying, this is like very Jason Voorhees, but it's a little Jason Voorhees meets
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I was gonna say Law and Order because it's just like after a while they like you run and you realize like you can't outrun the law, and then you're just like okay, it's like now it's time to make a decision out of two bad decisions, and it's like, do you want to die, or do you want to unburden yourself and pay your price and then and maybe live to see another day. And we see that growth from Samu the Scurrier. He's not running away from this.
And back to Grant. My nephew is a very talented artist, and he does comics. Can I kickstart a Jason Voorhees meets Mr. Rogers comic? Can I do that? You can get in for 10% of the proceeds.
I get at least I get 3% residuals.
Because all I'm picturing is the Tom Hanks when he's on the subway, and just Jason Voorhees on the subway with him for some reason.
Yeah, and I like that it's sort of like an immovable force meets or an
well, it doesn't Boba Fett sort of like
immovable
good.
object. Like it's just like they're both wearing each other down. One with good vibes and the other one with just menace. And it's like, yeah, I still
or
think
Mr. Rogers just like is
together.
just a master of hand-to-hand combat and sort of like holds his own.
But also, I think like Jason Voorhees is just a lost little boy, right? Who wants a hug, and I feel like changing into his sneakers and inviting him into his place. He can just like have a nice time and go to Imagination Land with Jason. But I just feel like, By the way, quick side note: have either of you seen or heard the Mr. Rogers gets in a fight with his wife viral video?
No.
It's amazing. I'm going to spoil it for you because it's one of the best things. Because you think when you hear that, you think it's going to be this like, oh man, he's no, he's behind the scenes. He's not realizing he's mic'd, and he talks to his wife about being hurt, and the two of them talk it out and kind of get into an argument, and then have a very nice it's like you literally learn how to fight with your spouse through Mr. Rogers. Even like it's one of those amazing things of just like, oh man, he really was just a good soul. Like it's just there's nothing bad there.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah. He's a real one. Yeah, he's a real G. We need more Rogers. And actually, we get it. It's on YouTube now, so
that's true.
Or it's going to be on YouTube. So show Mr. Rogers to your children or yourself. Okay. Then, so I think the next one. This would be Adam's favorite. This is Meeting of the Minds. I know Ethan Sachs wrote this. And this is the
most like, did you do your homework comic I've read in a long time.
Oh my golly.
Yeah.
So this one's fun because we get time juxtaposition in it. This is like the Christopher Nolan, like Black, White, and Red issue.
Well, it's also, I thought Adam would love this one because it
is my number one.
Stands the Bomar monk sort of narrative in a really not really expansive. Adds a new cult.
This idea of like
altogether.
A cult of a cult, like a cult, like a sect of a cult. It's like these
subcult.
Yeah, it's like these Kansas Catholics that anyway, we'll move from there. But this is my favorite, and I have to say something. I've never been a big fan of teenage Boba Fett. It's just not my thing. Yeah. It's fine. It's great. It's good storytelling. Not my thing. So to have that as a major part of this comic and still come out as my favorite comic, I'm like, good job, Ethan Sachs. Because
and this is again. So I don't know when the last episode. It was a last call episode, but we talked a lot about Boba Fett. But I think it started where I was like mentioning about like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if like they did another Boba Fett thing? If like they sort of had to have him like claim new armor, really strip him down and build him back up again. But so it was neat, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Like this was his early armor that we see in Clone Wars, back when he's a punk and he's like out of prison for the first time.
You mean when he's on the when he's in the Blood Oath Spice Den on Ord Radama?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one.
Oh,
remember that one for next time.
Yep, yeah. Let's put that on the list.
Dens too.
Like the location slug lines are like incredible in this comic. Like everywhere, everything in this comic. The art is next level in this comic.
Oh, this is the one that's super grainy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. It feels like newspaper print. Like I don't know. It's just.
And there's millions of dots. There's like a lot of
like pointillism almost.
Yeah,
like
pointillism.
Very. And one of my favorite, like something about brains in jars. I mean. Is very evocative whenever you see it. And I think something about it is like your thing being so unprotected. It's just like surrounded by glass instead of like bone. It just feels.
So it feels wrong.
Wait, can I ask you guys a question? Because I read this a while ago. When Boba Fett like punches the guy's chest, does he destroy his brain and then he's like a droid after that? At the very end of this? Like what happens?
He blasts the brain.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. I think he uses the blaster on it. And I had the same question because I'm like, that thing is talking well after that brain is like deep. But like
there must be some synergy. So real quick synopsis for people that didn't read this. Boba Fett is chasing down a guy named Corm Vargan. And we get like this guy punked Boba Fett when he was younger. And so this one's just for Boba and he wants to get revenge. and he has to track him down, and he tracks him down, and this guy Corm Vargan, he was a what's that species called with the spikes on the face? Nikto.
Yeah.
With giant Nikto, and he was like he was a cultist, right? And he was surrounded by cultists, and everyone believed he was like going to ascend to be a god, right? And which is great. And so
he's a cult leader, right? Like that was the whole thing. It's either cult leader or new cult.
Yeah, exactly.
Cult. Yeah.
And so it turns out what happened to Corm Vargan is he joined the Bomar monks, but a particularly violent sect that, they were all terrible people, that this was their salvation, sort of like pirate heaven or whatever. And so they put their brains in their jars. And sometimes Bomar monks, if you're not familiar and why we love them, we talk about them kind of regularly, but they're in Return of the Jedi. You see them in Jabba's palaces. They're the spider, mechanical spiders that just their head is just a clear sphere with a brain and some juice and brain juice.
It's just like dangling, like their brain. The other thing I love about it is the brain is underneath the spider. Like it's just even that idea of just like where they put it is just evocative to keep using that word. But
yeah. So they're
sin is written a lot in this comic, and sort of like even the villain is like, what is one more bad deed if I have an eternity to absolve myself? It's like it's some really kind of religious fanatic rhetoric in the comic, and I remember it was very powerful, very potent. And then Boba Fett is just like slices right through all that stuff, and what a cool comic for Boba Fett. And the perfect when you talk about who's looking for me, I thought all the leads would be dead. Like this was so long ago.
Yeah,
he's like, this one's for me or whatever, and I was like, oh, dude, this is a perfect. This is like exactly what a black, white, and red, Boba Fett story is.
Which was great because Vargan, like when he was like punked teenage Boba Fett, he's like your dad was an honorable man, but he's dead too.
Doesn't he unmask him in this comic or something?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, and then he's like son of Jango Fett. Like he was a great warrior, but like, he's dead.
What does he say? He doesn't say son. He says like
progeny.
Progeny of Jango.
Progeny, which I think is a nice little like it's a nice little insult of just clone, not son. Yeah,
yes.
like which I mean they're very similar terms, but they're slightly
probably
different.
more respectful than clone. Even I don't know. It depends how you take it, but so just fantastic the time juxtaposition. I'm pretty sure. So in his 1.0 armor, his blasters look just like Jango Fett's blasters, and I wonder if he was using them then. That's a kind of dorky thing that I looked at.
Yeah, might have been using them, or might have bought similar ones on the market because knowing it, like I love that idea that he would be at that point. He doesn't have the armor, so he's trying to do everything else his dad does, right? Like trying to copy him in every other way.
So like when do we get the story about Boba Fett getting his armor? Like,
I guess we don't.
His dad's armor, like, or different Mandalorian armor. Like, tell me that story, please.
Yeah, it's wild that Filoni, because of how much he does the Boba Fett stuff, like baby Boba Fett, that he doesn't do like that now with all these like tails and short ones, like just but maybe never. I don't know. I was gonna say my favorite thing in this entire comic is when Boba gets to the new temple or whatever, he's just confronting him. He's like, basically just pointing his blaster at a wall of brains.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just love the idea. It's like, and go to the part where I blast every brain until I find the right one. Just shoots one. It's like, was that him? No, I can keep going. Like just how nonchalantly he's just like blowing like brains out. Like I'm just like, oh man, this is great.
I love that bit. He's like, was that him? No. All right. Well, maybe the next one will be it. Yeah. And then he gets attacked. So Corm Vargan is in like a droid body. He's the only one in like a droid body with like buzzsaw hands, and everyone else are sort of in the classic sort of spider suits, or they're just implanted in a wall waiting for a mechanic body or never to have, the whole idea is that you're just in your brain. It sounds like a nightmare, but like pondering the mysteries of the universe without, full sensory deprivation.
Yeah. If I remember my Bomar monk lore properly, they're all on that wall, and then they call over droid bodies when they need to do something. That's the only when they need to move is when they're in the droid bodies, and then they're.
What do they need to do?
I don't know. Clean things up in Jabba's palace. I don't know. Like I just
want
like,
around Jabba's palace.
Do they like shunt into the spider body and then suddenly they can see?
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Doesn't Vinay become like in the same Bomar monk?
Yeah,
like,
Vinay's whole head is in the jar.
His head is in there.
Yeah.
But I reading this book, I'm like you had his name and you said it and I lost it. The guy, his bounty, the guy.
Bargain.
Corn Bargain. He's cheating. He's not up on my
he's cheating.
Like he's cheating when he's in that giant mech body.
His droid looks awesome.
He's cheating.
I think that new droid idea is awesome looking.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Like it a lot.
I'm kind of surprised they don't do that more often. Just implant brains into droids and live forever.
I had a weird.
There should be a whole there should be a whole species of those.
Yeah.
Or religious cult. I know we got it here, but I feel like you could take that another step to just people that are trying to live forever, or this is something that the wealthy elite can do, and you can get synth. I don't know. Maybe that's a little too sci-fi-y, too. I don't know.
I don't know. It seems like a natural evolution of the Vader replacement parts. I was thinking of this thing about Hu Yang. I don't know. I was probably in the shower 3 days ago, and I was just let me think about Hu Yang for the next 15 minutes. Where I'm because he looks like he's so human. He just looks like an old wizened man, and I'm just I'm what if his story is that he was a Jedi and he just kept getting replacement parts and eventually just transferred his consciousness into Hu Yang, went from basically human to cyborg to droid, right? I just think
you do the David Tennant story. He looked like David Tennant or whatever.
Yeah. Start him as David Tennant, and then start lopping off arms and other things, and slowly replace them.
I love that.
I've always thought there would be other Hu Yangs. I can't believe that Jedi have one droid that's 20,000 years old. You'd think they'd have a few, or there's other ones out there. I've always thought there's others, and to me that's fascinating.
They just don't live interesting lives. It's the same guy's been making breakfast for Jedi for 25,000 years, and it's just you don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But Hu Yang made lightsabers, and that's why we know who he is.
Very true. Yeah. That'll get
he was wrapped up in the sort of gathering of the crystals and that whole ritual. So I didn't really see any other droids.
Right. One dude just makes veggie chili, and it's sick. Yeah. It's sick.
I do love that scene in Ahsoka when Ezra's just throwing together a lightsaber.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Orgasm. That's some good stuff.
I know. Yeah.
So that was great. Oh, one more question for y'all. So there was an Aphra that Boba Fett consults after he cuts off that zealot's hands to find out where that's
her dad is. I'm pretty sure
that's her dad, right? Yeah, I don't remember him as being bald, but I was
I think it's accurate to the Spurrier comic. It's almost exactly.
Yeah, I think that's yeah.
I figured it had to be, but I was trying to then going pouring through my brain of all right, what happened to him? Did he die? I forget his fate, but I guess he did sort of live on.
This would be pre.
Right, before he reconnects with Aphra.
Yeah, because we mostly see Aphra post
between A New Hope and Empire, right?
And then it starts. First time we meet her is between New Hope and Empire, and then their story kind of continues. Yeah, in that era,
her mother doesn't die, but you think she dies or something.
I think so.
The planet, and then her dad she confides in for a while, and then I forget what happens to him after.
Yeah, I forget what happens to him too. I think he lives on.
I believe so.
Anything happened to him.
I think he lives on too.
There is an arc where he's involved with current Aphra in the timeline. I can't remember. Yeah, which is funny because not to move us along to the next one. The next one's written by an Aphra author.
Yeah, Alyssa Wong.
Yeah. Wrote the one right before Cherish Chan's run. Yeah.
I'm really excited. This one's called Target Iriadu. I can never pronounce it.
Iriadu.
Yeah. Iriadu.
Iriadu.
Iriadu. That's what I say. Iriadu. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is Iriadu.
I don't know. Who knows? Now I've said it so many times it's meaningless.
Iriadu.
Yeah. I remember. So this
Tarkin's
is
Homeworld.
Yeah, Tarkin's Homeworld. Yep. And so I remember reading it the Tarkin novel, and it takes place, and it's just, and then this is also a huge location
Imperial planet.
Yep, huge location for the High Republic.
Yeah,
and we got some backstory as far as the warring clans and the warring ruling families, and so we get some more of that here, where Tarkin's niece gets murdered, who seemed like a promising fascist.
Sure.
Sidna Tarkin, is that her name? I forget.
Yes, Sidna. You're right. Yeah. SYDNA. Yeah, that's the niece. I didn't get the aunt's name, but her mother, or not aunt. I guess so it would have been Tarkin's sister.
Tarkin's sister. Yeah.
So she hires Boba Fett to hunt down the killer.
But we got to talk about Tarkin's reaction to his niece getting murdered. He just does not care. He's I have business with the Empire. I have to be on my.
I think
toes.
Tarkin's philosophy is if you get killed by a bounty hunter, you deserve to be killed by a bounty
I don't
hunter.
have time for failure.
Yeah, exactly.
Is his final line in that hollow message. And I was like, that is such a perfect Tarkin.
It's so Tarkin, and it's so poetic that he just ends up decides to stand. That just this. Why would you leave now? In our moment of grace, and boom, boom, and just blown up. And it's just such a great ending to that character. Just yeah.
So that's how it kicks off. So it's fun. So Boba Fett goes there. He's got to get the lay of the land on Eriadu, and find this person. And so he runs into a child that lives on the street named Levu, who's an aspiring
legendary art. Yeah, the art is for this kid.
I mean, so this kid tries to pickpocket Boba Fett, which is incredibly stupid. I'm not going to say incredibly brave. It's just
wasn't it stupid though? He got a free lunch out of it.
Yeah, you're right. About. For the facts, he got free lunch out of it, and actually, he was like, "No, I was trying to get your attention because blah blah blah, and I'm going to be a blah blah blah." And like, okay, we're going to see him in something down the line. I'm sure of it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he helps them, tells them about the families, and then we have another as very on brand for Eriadu. That's what I'm going with now. There's like some, princess of another family, the Graces. Her name's Raslin Grace. I'm promoting.
This has to be like something from somewhere else, right?
That's what I was thinking.
I think it's the beginning of something that will be something else.
Oh, okay.
But so it's just like a wealthy, like Batman type character, but except
yes,
evil,
I was going to say this is
vigilante.
Batman. This entire issue is Batman. Like the Shadow of Bryfrang, which oh my god, I can't even say that city's name. But it's city.
Bryfrang.
Bryfrang.
I've never said it out loud. I don't even in my head. I just see it. Bryfrang.
But that character is Batman, and then this character is like the failed wannabe Batman. Who you're talking about, the Grace, sort of the vigilante.
Yeah. I propose we pronounce her name. It's spelled Raslin. I propose we pronounce it Raslin.
Wrestling.
Oh, we go out back, we set up some ropes, and we're wrestling. Yeah, that's how we say her name.
WRASSLIN.
Yeah. Wrestling Grace.
So she is. This is not going to be a surprise. She is from Grace. Raslin Grace is from Dr. Aphra. She was in Dr. Aphra 40. So we meet her first there. Yeah.
Okay.
I love how these characters just come into my life and then they exit my life, and then they come back, and I'm like, oh, you're back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she smells like a lot of those sort of like off-brand War of the Bounty Hunters to me.
At the end of this comic, and I have another this is by Chris Farley for you guys. Like at the end of this comic, does she shoot at Boba Fett's feet and he's just like thumbs up and like leaves? Like, is that what happened?
Yeah, there's a grudging respect at the very end of this. Like, yeah,
and she had her face mask broken. Yeah, she's just there, and he just lets her live. I'm like, I feel he's like, whatever, I got paid, job's done, I'm leaving. I'm like, that's quitter talk right there, Boba Fett.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't let that person breathe, thinking that like they even hold
blaster burns all around you. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it doesn't flame. Yeah. She's like, This was an amazing story. This was really fun.
It was really
I was sort of like, oh, what do we got here last? And then I was blown away. It was actually really fun.
Who's the identity of the Shadow Bryfrang when they pull the mask off?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. They're a martyr now.
They're
getting tortured right now still.
Yeah. I thought it was Sidna Tarkin. I thought it was a sort of like thing. I thought it, like she faked her own death.
That'd be interesting.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And then she's almost like a heroic vigilante, right?
All these shows, so when they unmask the shadow of Bryfrang, it's just like 3 inches off her face. You see it's female smile, black lips.
A scar,
and maybe. But yeah, they're smiling, and I think that was the key part, is to be like I'm satisfied with what I've done here.
Yeah, she's ready to die. Basically, like she's accomplished her mission. It's a martyr. It's a martyr story.
Because Bryfrang is the neighborhood across the tracks from the main city center, and that's where the working class live on Eriadu. And,
which is a big part of the High Republic. Yeah.
yeah, life's hard.
I just thought it was strange you didn't get to see the character. Like that was.
Yeah, I think I think that was the point. Is it doesn't
scary.
matter who that. It's her mission, not her. Right. That's important. Like it's her. I'm trying to think of something. I can't think of the word. But anyway, yeah.
Right, and Boba Fett doesn't care.
That's kind of what I love. This is the most of these stories. You get a couple of these, but this is the one that Boba Fett's most detached from. Like he is. Like you feel like in the second book or second issue, he's kind of cares about the Scurrier, right? And trying to kind of like get him saved. In the first one, there's not really anything for him to latch onto because he's just being, churned. And the third one is just a revenge story. But this one, like, so everything he's doing is like the first one, he's doing it to save himself, right? That's the second issue. He's doing it to save someone else. The third one, he's doing it for revenge. And this one, he's just doing it for the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is fascinating. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who he's rubbing shoulders with. It doesn't matter, he's dealing with ruling class elites and he's dealing with, children, homeless children. And like, it's all the same to him. Just like get the mission done.
This feels closest to Empire Strikes Back, Boba Fett, right? Just doing a job for credits. Like he doesn't care. Like, and he says that at the very beginning, I think, of the first book, first issue. He's like, I don't care about the Empire. I don't care about the rebellion. I care about credits, I think is what he says, or something like that. Yeah.
There's also one of those realistic sort of hiring scenes I've seen for a Boba Fett story. Sort of Alyssa Wong nailed the whole, like, for a rush job, it's going to cost extra and making the clients pay. Like, I just loved sort of the writing around hiring Boba Fett. I think that's the stuff you really want to see as a fan. You almost want to see someone hire Boba Fett from the very inception of sort of like what it is to deal with him.
Yeah, you're bringing me back to Lone Wolf and Cub. This is like 500 yen. 500 yen.
Yeah, I kind of like those scenes though. Those are some of my favorite scenes, honestly, where he's negotiating. And stuff.
I love it because it's a cadence, right? It's just like there's that cadence of things that and you expect, and they happen. And when they happen, you're like, all right, here we go. We're still going here. We're trucking along. This is the way.
Yeah, I almost went back and started rewatching those again. I love those. Are really fun. The Lone Wolf and Cub movies.
Yeah, they're really fun.
Sitting there, like maybe I'll just watch one. Yeah.
Yeah, I just finished it up the other day, right? I didn't see the last one, I think, before the pod that we did on that, and I was like, this is awesome. Yeah, they're classics for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Japanese cinema is just elite.
When they got that 70s exploitation feel to them at times too. It's great. Yeah.
Right on.
Well, those are very, I love the exploitation aspect of those films, except for you would never be made today. But like,
no, I mean, and none of these exploitation films would be made, and it's not a cosign, but it's just a fascinating time in film where it's just like,
I want to know where the nudity is in my Mandalorian and Grogu. It was such a prominent part of
just a like topless
prominent
warrior
part of Lone Wolf and Cub. It's like,
like, there was. You didn't see Nel Hutta?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, I guess you could say that.
That hut was topless. Yeah. Oh my God. Nel Hutta. You're right.
I don't know. I would have been like, that movie's so weird. If you just had it on, I'd be like, yep, and 10 out of 10. That's a perfect movie. Like,
It comes out next week on Blu-ray.
I saw that.
It's like, if you're, a collector of physical media, it's going to be a fun steelbook.
I think I'm going to buy it. I've been slowly building out. I just got Todd Browning's Freaks and Night of the Living Dead from the Criterion collection on Blu-ray. So I'm like starting to slowly build out my physical media again.
Yep, I got the full Star Wars collection right now. So
nice, smart.
It's nice to have.
But that'll be a fun movie to watch next week. It will be on Disney Plus as well, I imagine.
No, not for a while. It's because
maybe.
So Grant, not to correct you, I think it's coming out streaming. It's coming out next week, and then I don't think it's coming out in physical media until August, and then probably not until September on Disney Plus.
Really?
But double check. I could be wrong, but that's my understanding.
Okay, you're probably right because you're probably on finger on the dial over there.
They usually do the streaming first because they want that money more than they want the physical media, which is so weird.
Yeah, it's like pulling teeth trying to find physical media because I've been building out my collection and. Yeah, but I might sign up for another month of Disney Plus just to like bang on that movie a couple times.
I think it's still going on right now, but Barnes & Noble is doing 50% off all Criterion movies. So just a hint, because that's how I got those two movies. Yeah.
All right. Cool, man. This has been super fun. I want to keep talking here, but I feel like this is a full pod. If we talk more, we'll record it and do another last call. Let us know how you feel about that. I mean, I want to give these comics their due. I'm glad we're talking about them. I'm sure we'll be talking more about more comics soon because I love them. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're reading comics, I hope you enjoy listening to us banter about them. But it's like nice to ingest this. Like now when we think about Boba Fett, like all of these stories will be in our subconscious and we know more, we'll be able to have more informed conversations about
Who
it.
do you guys think the next black, white, and red character pick will be?
Oh, interesting.
Running out of candidates.
We've had Vader, Maul, and Fett. Is that it? I think that's
it.
There wasn't a Kylo Ren.
I don't think so, but good call.
That's a great pick. Yeah,
that's probably going to be what it is. Yeah,
they could flesh out him doing terrible things a little more, but
I'm always partial. I would like the Dr. Afro one because she gets down and dirty sometimes. Like I feel like you could do a Dr. Afro one.
Or a Sing, black, white, and red.
Or Sing's a good one.
Oh, that's where my sexy Star Wars would come from, right there.
Yeah, I do a Han Solo one. Like I feel like you can play around with some of the scoundrels a little bit, right? Like who have gotten into the scrapes.
Bosk, black, white, and red. Oh my god, dude! I would buy every variant.
It should be It should be Bosk, and it should be black, white, and red. But black and white's just crossed out, and so it's just red because it's just gonna be all
yeah. Every page is just red.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should just be a bloodbath with Boss.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
But bounty hunters would be a good one. Just a bounty hunters, black, white, and red, and each issue is a different bounty hunter. Like
there's Dendar, black, white, and red, but the red is always his blood. For some reason.
Exactly. That'd be amazing. Yeah.
Someone's raising their hand and being like, "We could do a Valance, black, white, and red."
Yeah. Yeah.
Snoke, black, white, and red.
Yeah. I mean,
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I would be.
I mean, Count Dooku, black, white, and red, right? You could do a General
Grievous, black, white, and red. Oh my goodness.
Sidious, right? I don't think we have any of the.
You'd have to do the blue and green sabers with Grievous, though. You have to color those in. I feel like
they have played around with that before. There was one that was black, white, and green, and it wasn't. I can't remember what that was. It was something that's like. So you can do. They've done it sometimes with other colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Bosk almost needs to be like black, white, and yellow, but.
Black, white, and blue with Obi-Wan would be very cool.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
As like the first, Marvel thing to do that. Is it Dark Horse or Marvel nowadays?
It's Marvel.
Marvel. Yeah, it's Marvel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I got distracted. Black, White, and Blood is what they called the Alien franchise one, which was
good times.
Like that.
Appropriate and very bleak.
Comics are fantastic. These are great.
Yep. So we'll be talking about more of these, and there's more content to come, and I'm looking forward to talking about it with y'all.
Same.
So have a good one. Enjoy your week, and we'll talk to you next time on Cantina Chronicles.
Thanks very much for listening to Cantina Chronicles. Please like and follow on your platform of choice. Feel free to reach out to us on Instagram or cantinachronicles@gmail.com.